Go.
We're back on part 2 of the economy, following up from what happened previously on the previous one. I briefly wanted to speak very quickly to you about Larry, Moe, and Curly. 3 great men that grew up in a time that really wasn't so hot. And they formed together to make a team, the crazy team you've ever seen. I love them very much. They're called the Three Stooges. I made a situation where I showed you the Obama government because that's how what they portrayed in their movies was just like the government by the Obama organization. It's basically a big farce and it will not go anywhere very far. So we're back to the economy, and the key element on this was during the Second World War that I saw the American might is awesome. I saw as a young boy when I went to watch the shipyard, I saw women building ships, huge ships, and I couldn't believe almost all the workers were women. And I just, you don't see this. You don't see this hardly today except in the semiconductor industry. But I'm talking about heavy steel, welding, grinding, riveting, you name it. Powerful force, those women that made that our country so great also. I had an aunt who actually did the trigonometry to figure out for artillery firing. How's your trig working out, people out there? Can you do something like that? They did it with the slide rule. You try that. We the people, basically, of the middle class, the force of the power, what made America great, we became the American way of life for all people from this point on and our generation following. And by doing that, we went above all nations at this time primarily because the 3 documents we have in this country, the 3 greatest documents, and that is our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights. There is no document in the world that even comes close to that. This is why all the people come to this country, this nation of ours, and I was so fortunate to be born here. And so many of you others should really be thankful for that, because if you came from another country, then you will understand the power and the wonders that we have in this country. The people of the United States are the greatest of the people of the world. We are the world, period. End of subject on that. This is one reason why I say periodically, we do not need the United Nations. We do not need to be part of the United Nations other than to just sit in on it, not to participate in manpower use. None. We won't want to do that ever again either. There's no need. Let the UN stand on its own 2 feet for once in its life so it can make the decisions of life and death of their own people. Let's see how much courage they have. I don't think you're going to find any of it because they are a bunch of cowards out there in the United Nations. They can't make decisions because they have to look at their own personal well-being. When you start doing that all the time, it gets a little tiring, and Americans lose their lives because of that delay. I won't allow that to happen. No, sir. That's not going to be. Our nation became tremendous power force because, I mentioned earlier, there are natural resources. And you talk to the ecological people and you would think we ran out of all those resources. And we have not. We haven't even started. We have more gas consumption here probably than anywhere else in the world. But you see, we're always looking for it. We have oil here in great abundance. We don't want to use it. We have everything in great abundance here and we don't want to use it. We are being stymied by the United Nations and the groups called ecological groups. I'm an ecological freak, but I will not stop an American from a job for any reason if there's any reason for not doing that. We will always move forward. We will not prevent Americans from working in our country regardless of who wants it. That is not the American way. And anyone who stands in the way will see some consequences coming towards them, because what they receive, those people out there that sit and complain about doing this and that, we're going to eliminate that, eliminate that. You eliminate everything in America, and when you do that, we have nothing left. We have nothing left. So the only thing we can do is go offshore, because that's where all the materials are. Isn't that funny? Isn't that great? So we send jobs offshore. Who did all of these things? Called lobbyists. Americans. They're real great people. Americans paid, lived here, lobbied to send jobs offshore. Unions loved the idea, but they don't know what's coming up on them. You see, you cannot compete in an outside world. If you think you are, you're an absolute fool, and you will see the consequences of that real soon if you keep on this path. So, unions, ecological groups, and lobbyists, all working against the United States of America, my home, and I don't like that at all. We need to continue on the path of looking and relooking and evaluating our country and the greatness that it is. And when I say the greatness of our country, I'm only speaking about the American workforce. That is what makes a country. Nothing else. Nothing else. And I believe so wholeheartedly in that I can't explain it any dearer to you. America is very dear to me, very dear, and I'll do anything and everything I can to protect it, because America is like a child that you did not have, and you're going to take care of that child. America is an ever-forgiving child, and you must take care at all times. Let no harm come to it. Now, I forgot to say something about myself. I want to introduce you to me. My name is Robert Malow, and I am going to be your next President of the United States. And I am the richest American alive in this country. I'm rich because I am an American, first and always. Rich in money, it's not important. Money changes and goes up and down. But being an American never changes. Always stand up for that, because that's who you really are. Your roots go way back into time, only 234 years. But you know what? Those roots have solid foundation, a foundation of truth, liberty for all. Always remember that. You have the opportunity to do anything you want in this country. You just have to step up and do it. I'll end it at that point in time, and then we'll continue again till I see you again. Thank you very much for listening to me.